Hostilities have now increased between India and Pakistan. Pakistan is beginning to hit India all along the western borders, along the line of control. The Indian establishment is now claiming that because of the moves which have been made by Pakistan, India has been forced to take steps which have led to neutralization of the Pakistani air defense systems. With us, one of the foremost military strategists and military voices, General Pannu, joining us live here. Great to have you once again with us on the Squirrel Start In. Let me begin by asking you, sir, this retaliatory strikes, which were first unleashed by Pakistan and now have been responded in adequate terms, to quote the Indian Ministry of External Affairs press release, which has been put out, adequate terms. Would it be the right term for me to say that India and Pakistan are now at war with each other?
Bhupendra, thank you very much for getting me over to your program. To describe an act of war is when one country collectively chooses any target in the other country. I think Pahalgam was also an act of war. And I think it is threshold of tolerance. If you want to continue to tolerate, you can keep saying it is not act of war. But sometimes if even one individual or one Indian comes into the harm's way, a nation is to declare that as the act of war, because after all, it is one country to another, killing has happened. So whether it is one person or it is 26 in Pahalgam or Balakot and all that, these are all acts of war. Now, wars are defined by proxy war, low intensity conflict, less than war situation, but these are all wars. Ultimately, what is a full-fledged war is at the end of it when all the entire comprehensive national power of one nation gets unleashed on the other nation would be construed as the full-blown war.
I'll tell you why I'm raising this question, General Pannu. Because till yesterday, the Indian side's position was that we have not hit out at any military installations. We have hit out against terror infrastructure. Now, if the Indian side itself is claiming that we have now neutralized the Pakistani air defense systems, which is being corroborated by the Pakistani establishment, are we not hitting it now at the military installations now?
If you really follow the sequence, we did what we did, and we hit those 9 targets, call them terror bases, or look at them as the ones which are headquarters where the recruitment and planning was done. These are big bases and they are in depth. They are strategic assets of the terrorists, and terrorists are a strategic asset of Pakistan. Right. So, really speaking, it is a military arm of Pakistan and low-cost option tool of Pakistan, which we have hit against. It is a quasi-military organization which Pakistan ISI actually uses for decades on together. But the fact is that we were fighting proxy to proxy, that all those people who were being used as tools for unleashing proxy war, we were basically targeting right from when you look at the surgical strikes, the launch pads, and then Balakot again a little deeper, but launch pad. But now we are hitting all the quasi-military targets. In response to that, last night, some amount of retaliation happened by Pakistan, and of course, there is a long list of Avantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, whatever. There's a very, very long list. It goes right up to Bhuj. It means the entire front was activated in a manner that Pakistan would have tried to hit certain military stroke air bases of India. But none of the strikes could successfully hit the targets because they were all intercepted by our systems, air defense systems. So if you really build the sequence in a way that the escalation was done by Pakistan, they tried to hit our air bases or military installations, and all of them were intercepted by our air defense systems. None of them could go through, no casualties. While on the line of control, the military-to-military firing is happening, and largely the medium guns are targeting the civilian villages in Punch, Rajouri sector, in Uri, and all along the line of control. They have tried to escalate a situation. which of course, during the time in 2000, 98 to 2000, again 2001 to we said, enough is enough, and let's not carry body bags home. We went into a ceasefire. So ceasefire has been called off many times because abrogations do happen. Now, if you really look at Pakistan on their own, have gone and said, "Oh, we will revoke the Simla agreement." The Simla agreement was basically to protect themselves only. So what I'm saying is that okay, now we will remove a bulletproof jacket. So now we are ready for war. I mean, it's as stupid as that.
Right.
Whether they have revoked or not, it is just an announcement of saying that we don't agree to Simla agreement. It means that they are prepared to get a further beating from India, because that is the only military agreement that we could follow in 1999. We did not cross the line of control because we were actually obeying the provisions of the agreement.
So what is it? What is it that's happening right now, sir? Because there are a lot of pictures which are coming on all sides, and often many of these videos are unverified, and you don't know what's happening. But in your assessment of the situation, what is the reality right now along the western border, along the line of control?
Bhupinder, normally what happens is that before the actual war, the shaping of battle which happens, I don't want to really scare the viewers to say that the battlefield is being shaped, but I'm just giving you a sequence of how it happens.
Sure.
Normally, before the ground offensive happens, there is an aerial campaign that happens. It shapes the battle. That certain targets, such as the military installations, certain strategic value targets, which are the concentration areas where there are choke points, military railway sidings, all the infrastructure which can be used for mobilization can also get targeted. All that is not yet happening, but the air campaign, because use of air and dropping of precision missiles, standoff missiles, that has happened. It can be the beginning of the air campaign, but I would not say it is a typical war-like situation where the shaping of the battle through the air campaign has happened. All the other international airlines also have, out of precaution, fearing that the weapons tight would have gone to weapons free. So once you have weapon free, then they can see anything which will be spotted on the radar would be shot down. So therefore, as a precaution, all the international flights were also suspended, and you found that the Pakistani airspace was all blank. There's nothing seen except their own aircraft. Now, the foolishness in this is that it means anything which is flying over Pakistan is a Pakistani aircraft, you're free to shoot. You see, this is what they have done. There's no protective shield. So as a result, if they have gone in for tightening their air defense system, in which they have been saying that, their air defense system cannot be penetrated, which got penetrated. After all, 9 targets have been shot, and they're themselves showing videos of how people are crying, and they're carrying all the whatever dead for ceremonial burial with all the spectacle. And so after all, the airspace got compromised. So it means their air defense systems failed. Right. On the other side, they last night tried to throw the same thing. They tried to use some missiles, surface to surface missiles. I do not know which missile they would have used. They could have used the Hatf 1 or 9, which is short 70-kilometer range. They could have also used Hatf 7, 450 kilometers range. All this could have. So they have all been neutralized by our air defenses. Okay. So when you say all these names that have been released by the Press Information Bureau, the air defense system can know from the trajectory as to where these missiles were headed.
No, so I'm trying to understand, sir, that our air defense system neutralizes Pakistani missiles, but what is being shown by the Pakistani side now is that Indian drones have reached Lahore, even Karachi. Some reports are suggesting. Do you think that's possible that our drones could have reached all the way to Karachi?
It is quite possible that drones can reach anywhere. Drones in Russia-Ukraine war also reached Moscow. So it's quite possible. But, during warlike situation, you find that Pakistan ISPR they make the war look bigger than what actually it is. They create information operations where you can't differentiate between reality and fiction. Uh, Otherwise, the normal Pakistani is really against the army. Why should army be carrying the coffins on the shoulder? No army man died, so army is carrying the coffins on the shoulders. It means they are trying to get acceptability of the people. Are some of our guys who were in the seminaries? They died, so let's now try to show a spectacle that we are one, and when they are not one.
Right.
The army is divided. People are divided. They're fed up of the army. Now carrying the coffins means that, look, we are carrying your dead, or also don't blame us for doing something silly. We are with you.
So where
If
do
the
you see this going, Gen Pannu? Where do you see this going now? Both sides, India has had a hit on Pakistan twice. Pakistan has heated up the entire line of control. What happens next now in your understanding?
See, in my understanding, if you are looking at how the war should unfold, that is a separate matter altogether. The war would unfold in a natural sequence
No,
where
I'm
you
asking
can.
you, what do you see happening? One view is that both sides have had a go at each other, and now international pressure will come in and things will de escalate. The other is that there's a Pakistani army chief who was waiting for a situation like this. He's an autocratic dictator who's put a constitution elected prime minister in jail, stolen the mandate, and therefore, for him, the best scenario is to mobilize the entire state of Pakistan against India, which perhaps would end up creating a very different challenge for India. Which of these two scenarios do you think is possible, sir?
Bhupender, it's like, putting a rope around your neck and threatening that I'm going to commit suicide. Another one is really let it go and hang. One is a drama of hanging and another is really, really hanging. I think it is just a rope being shown that, we will all die. And if they actually bring conventional forces onto the Indian borders, then they would commit a suicide. Because Indian conventional forces are double the size. Indian economy resilience and the space that we have to fight is very vast. They don't have any backspace. They will be pushed to the Indus basin, and after that, what is there in the beyond the Indus basin is all Balochistan and northwest Frontier province, and nothing more. They will get no support there. So what they will do is they will build a war hysteria for not only international pressure to stop the war, but for the Islamic countries to come and stand behind them and start saying, okay, hamare jahaz le lo, hamare bande lo. Nobody is going to give them anything. They might give them some ammunition. One very important thing is in warfare today is the business of war, the military defense, military industrial complex, and the business men would be walking around with the briefcases to say how much worth of equipment they can dump onto Pakistan and later on bill them for it. And I think Pakistan knows about it. That is why they keep looking at Islamic countries ki hame mufat de do, because we are fighting an Islamic war. We are fighting a war where you and us are brothers and the war is against us, so don't charge us money. But I think they will charge them to a point that Russia has sided India at the moment. China may not bail them because of that. But the point is, China will bail them by giving them more loan, by giving them more material to test the Chinese equipment against India. They would want Pakistan to get decimated to a point of experience and also move around to the begging bowl. So I think either way it is suicidal for Pakistan to do anything. But now that for one man's existence, that is the chief of army staff of Pakistan, for his personal existence, this entire nation is going to be doomed. So he would know when to call the bluff, his own bluff, by saying that, okay, now the world is there and I've been told not to fight and all that, and some noise will be made. I don't think so. India is looking for any international pressure to come to India to say stop the war. I don't. Yeah.
All right, General Pannu. I think you've given us a very clear picture of what could unfold, which way this is headed. In your understanding, it's not as if that Pakistan has too many options. Neither does its conventional military might stand before our conventional military might. Of course, there is no question of any economic comparison between the two countries. But thank you very much, General Pannu, for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Bhupinder.